SVU live broadcast. We are here for League of Legends, and I'm here joined by Josh J. Moffett. What's up, Josh?
What's up, Kev? How you doing?
Doing fantastic. So this is the NACE League. We saw the College League of Legends tournament over the weekend, but this is the other league we're in, the NACE League. So we have a different lineup here tonight, and this would be exciting. We've got two freshmen on this squad. We got the senior down there in the bot lane, Thomas. So what are you thinking about this, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, those of you who followed us last semester, we saw a couple of these guys play, I think, once or twice. And a really good show. But the freshman is really what I'm keeping my eye out here for, right? Because this is going to be a telltale for how, some of the rest of the season could be going for these guys.
Exactly. And it looks like we are going to be jumping into draft here. So we'll have to see how these picks and bans pan out. I am excited to see what the freshmen had to bring. What we've seen P. Diddy before, we've seen Locker 74 before, we've seen what they can do. Those two have been playing together for a while now, and I'm excited to see that mid-jungle duo really hit it off here. So it'll be interesting to see what they end up picking.
Yeah, I think roams that can happen from the more experienced players could to shift the game. We saw it with our last team on Saturday. For those of you who joined, some of our mid-jungle duos that were out there did some really good plays that just changed the whole game for, the opposing team.
Yeah, so we're going to go through that Garen pick into the Singe. So this could be just a proxying top lane. Both champions pretty good at proxying. They have a ton of sustain. So that might be a really boring lane, but we could see some excitement, especially with the Volibear. You're a jungler, Josh. How do you feel about this Volibear pick?
Volibear is very versatile. He can farm quickly. He can be aggressive. He's got healing damage. There's usually a good show. He can jump on a tower and do some fun dives. There's always going to be a good show, and with P. Diddy piloting him, I'm really excited to see what he decides to do, especially with this Malzahar and what utility that brings to the equation as well. Yeah,
we're seeing these comps really start to shape out here with Diana, Yasuo, probably going for some kind of engagey all-in comp. We'll have to see what the support ends up picking here for the Pioneers. But Yasuo, Diana, definitely good combo. You get your ability power out of the Diana, so that combo as well. And the ulti there does count as a knock-up for the Yasuo. So Malzahar's a good pick, I think. Both those champions want to go in. While he can't ult both of them, he could at least lock one of them down.
Yeah, and Locker's trigger finger is really good with this flash on that ult. So I'm sure we'll be seeing some Malzahar shift the tide of these team fights in SVU's favor.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what the bot lanes end up being here. A lot of bans across the board, mostly top laners, mid laners, a couple junglers. There's the Xayah here for Cool Man Ray. He does like the Xayah. We'll have to see if they couple it with the Rakan. You don't have to, but people like to get baited into that. So, and there's the Alistar. We kind of saw that one coming with the Diana Yasuo. Kind of is very fitting for that type of style. The Garen doesn't really fit in too well, but the Misfortune definitely with the ultimate on top of those Wombo ults.
Yeah, it's going to be one big everybody press your buttons and hope they die.
So we're going to have the Nautilus here for Seething. He does like that champion. He's played it many, many times. So we'll have to see how this laning phase holds up here.
Now, Kevin, which of these lanes look most volatile to you?
So for me, I think there's going to be a lot of action in the bot lane. Mid lane is going to be fairly boring. Yasuo, usually pretty aggressive, but at the same time, there's not much you can do into a Malzahar. Malzahar's just going to farm and run away. So Yasuo can't even really knock him up, with his passive. So bot lane, I think, is going to be the focus for both teams. They both have engage setup coming out of the support, and junglers that aren't afraid to dive. Volibear, once he has that ult, he's not afraid to dive at all. So we might see that. And maybe some Rift Herald.
Yeah, no, two junglers with a lot of skirmishing power. And hopefully we see some fun fights around Dragon Pit and bot lane, like you're saying. Those are always fun to watch. 3 minutes going into game one here. You got to hope our freshmen, Sedentary Scorpio and Cool Man Ray, are going to be, not feeling the pressure too much and going to be able to perform well.
Yeah, the nerves are high here going into their first game ever in collegiate esports. But I think these guys, once they get a feel for the Rift, once they get in there, start laning, they're going to calm down and do quite well. It's going to be really snowball a game, I think, because if this Diana gets rolling, we saw that on Saturday with the mid lane Diana. Once that Diana got rolling, there wasn't really an answer to it. So they're going to have to keep their spacing well, because while there's not a ton of engage here on the side of the Pioneers, they do have some scary engage if they get close enough.
Right. Once they decide to press go, that go button's going to be a lot of damage. Another one that's, Diana can. We've seen that. We've seen Diana run away with the game. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Zaya could do that pretty well too, right? On SVU's side, can really start to snowball.
No, yeah, Zaya's super strong. Great into these types of comps because Alistair tries to engage, uses his flash. Zaya can just press ult. She can just dodge the one button that they're counting on. So Zaya is really going to fit in well here, and ton of damage coming out with the Blade Caller. So we'll have to see how Zaya navigates this early game, because Misfortune can be kind of a lane bully, but Alistair not the best in lane. He's kind of weak. Doesn't have he's got a lot of ability if he has his flash, but if that play goes south, he's going to be just sitting in the bush.
Yeah. So we might see a lot of roams from Alistair for that purpose, but we know Seethings can do a lot of roaming with Nautilus as well. We saw one of our players last Saturday do a lot of Nautilus roaming that performed really well. So we'll see what supports can do to spice up these other lanes, mid and top. Like you're saying, it could be a little bit boring, but yeah, it'll be fun to see.
Yeah, so before we get into this game, we'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight. We did get a little bit of a late start. They had some website issues on the tournament side. But yeah, this is going to be a best of 3. So first team to 2 will take it. So we will see how that pans out. And this is going to be the last stream here for this week. But next week, we're going to have a stream Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all at 7 p.m. Eastern. So please tune in for that. It should be a great show.
Yeah, and if you want to catch any of those, can't remember what time or what day, or if you want to share this particular stream with any friends you think might be missing out right now, I think they can find us on our Instagram, right, Kev?
Yeah. I have the Coach Kev SVU Instagram. Go on there. We have updates almost daily, about the schedule, what you can expect, what's up and coming here on the team. And if we get any last-minute changes or additions, you can find it all live updates on there. So
awesome. Getting into game 1 here.
Yeah, so we'll be getting here in just a second. It's going to be, I don't know how, veteran these Pioneer players are, but I know that the first game of the season is always stressful. And if you're not, able to, control your emotion, then the game can kind of slip out of your hands. So we'll see, how the first blood goes, how the opening minutes go. If one team gets an advantage, you could just see a quick snowball, but at the same time, we could be in for a long one.
Yeah, absolutely. And those of you tuned in yesterday, you can see that happen with Rocket League. With League, I think even more so, right? These long, drawn-out games, tensions can just get really high.
Looks like we do have a level 1 thing here by the Pioneers. They're all going into that pixel bush. P. Diddy is there on the volleyball. Going to drop the ward perfectly, so that's going to spot it out. Not a huge advantage for anyone here, level 1. I think actually SVU has the better at level 1 team. But they're going with a more defensive start, which, that bodes confidence for me. They don't think they need any cheeky level 1 play to get ahead. They think they can just go into standard lanes and win the day, which is what you want to see here at the opening of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I think, a team that's feeling good about their game plan and has one doesn't have to rely on those, cheesy tactics that, kind of a coin flip sometimes, right? I think that's a great sign.
So it looks like standard starts here. Both junglers going to start in the south side. Diana definitely going to want a leash. Volibear won't mind one either. Singed, will he proxy this first wave? Doubt it. Might just, probably just going to farm it up. If you were jungling here, Josh, is this just a 3 camp or is this a 6 camp?
I think historically Diana's been very farmy champion, and I think P. Diddy on Volibear is going to want to try and exploit that. And I know she's, both of these champions are versatile, can do a lot of whatever they want. But I would be looking for Volibear to invade or at least put some pressure on a lane, probably top or mid early here after a 3 camp.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Ignite rather, both top laners electing to take Ignite, so that lane might be more volatile than I originally thought because of how much you will get punished if you do get ganked and killed. So maybe that's something that PDD's going to look for after his camps. It looks like he does clear the whole south side jungle and going to go try to get his red, so we'll see if he's able to get anything done with that or if this is just going to be a agree to farm early game. Seething, pushing this in. Cool Man Ray. Oh, goes for the hook here. They are level 2 to the level 1. Alistair, they're going to get the flash out of the Alistair, and you love to see that if you're SVU. He wants to use that aggressively. Being forced to use that defensively is really going to hurt him in this laning phase.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of Alistair's, he needs the flash, right? It's huge.
Yeah, so he is going to have the Hex Flash, so that will be decent for him. And Seething did go the exhaust and used it there, so they are going to be down a Summoner spell in the long run. But good job there, good hook, getting things started off. Looks like Volibear is looping around, going to contest this top scuttle. I wonder if Diana's going to know that he's going to contest this and try to fight him for it, or if she's just going to give it up. Maybe getting ganked mid. No, Yasuo, good Spidey senses there by him. Not sure if he has that warded off or not. I think he does, and it looks like Diana's just going to give this crab over.
Yeah, and these new crabs, the first ones are not worth as much as some of the other ones. So a lot of players you'll see not as willing to risk as much if they feel like they need the extra level from the full clear. Not willing to risk as much for a single first crab.
Yeah, and it looks like P. Diddy is looking for a topside gank, but Diana saw him and is going to go for that bot side scuttle. I don't know if that gank's going to pan out, but it's pretty even early game here. Farm going pretty even across the board. A little bit of discrepancy in top lane with the Singed, but not too worried about him. He only gets stronger, as the game goes on. So early laning is probably his toughest part, where he can't really proxy. He doesn't have the health regen or the mana pool to really deal any damage, where Garen's sitting up there with no mana.
Right. We have seen a little bit of action here bot lane, though. I think some of our players here are maybe a little more antsy for action than elsewhere.
Yeah, and here comes Alistair. Speaking of action, he goes in. Cool Man Ray's going to have to use the heal. He gets stunned up. Will he have to flash? Yes, he will. He lives with 1 HP, but there's the flash in from Misfortune. So First Blood going over the Pioneers in the 2v2. And that's exactly what you were talking about, Josh. The action in the bot lane, and you never want to die with a wave pushing in. But here comes a gank up here. P. Diddy trying to make a cross-map play. Can Singed get the flash? Hook. There he goes. Flips him behind, but do they have the damage? Doesn't look like it. No mana on the Singed. Unable to get his puddle out. So Garen's going to survive, but does have to use the flash.
Yeah, and I mean, you like to see the cross-map play, especially with Volibear up there. But in reality, Diana didn't even have to make an appearance bot lane in order for that to happen. So you got to be a little worried about where she is at this point. I don't think she was seen on SVU side. So
yeah,
Volibear's going to got to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, and here's an early dragon take. They saw the gank topside. They're going to go for this dragon. Dragons don't do a ton, but stacking them is very important to work for that soul. So we'll see if this ends up being a problem for SVU later on. But this is going to stagger the backs here. Diana getting a back off there. They are missing that bot lane wave. So, they did make some sacrifices to get that.
Yeah, they did.
And no buy here on the Misfortune yet. So they do have an item advantage at bot lane if they fight again. And Misfortune did flash. So just a heal up in bot lane for summoners. Volibear getting his second rotation. We'll have to see if they're able to make a play with his next gank, because he still has his flash, and I really want to see him use that. Maybe repeat this top lane gank with this shoving in.
Yeah, you see that a lot. It's very important to repeat ganks after, Garen's already used his flash. Unfortunately, Singed used his flash last time too, right? So both of those are down, and it's going to be a little bit more pressure on Volley. Unless Singed keeps taking off so much of his health like this.
Garen is level 6. Can he get in range? Oh, he couldn't quite get that second tower shot. So neither of them going down, both living with a sliver of health. So you got to be careful, though, if you're Singed here. He doesn't want to step out too far into the ult range of Garen. Garen's going to be upset. Singed is going to be upset that he didn't use the Ignite. If he could get in Ignite range, you feel like he could get that kill. But right now, neither of them going down. But it is thin ice. Singed looking for that kill. He will die if he gets in range. Can he get the Ignite? Garen playing around vision. He's not waiting for Volibear, though. Garen's going to ulti him, and you hate to see that if you're Singed. He could have just kept the Garen corralled, waited for Volibear, but Diana was coming as well.
Yeah, a little bit of patience could have been had, but might not have paid off. That being said, both junglers, turning out the wave might not get pushed one way or the other here very well. It's going to stay in mid as both top laners try to return to lane. Mid lane's happening about what you were saying is going to happen, right?
Yeah, look at this. QSS already bought by the Yasuo. So he's paying that Malzahar tax with his first item. I don't know if that's really worth for him, but there you go. He gets out of it. He's going to knock up Locker, but I don't know if he can win this extended trade. Locker is going to flash. I don't think he really need to. I think one more auto and that guy would have been dead. So respecting Yasuo, but I think he's a little too scared there.
Yeah, I mean, you can see some Yasuos pop off, come out of nowhere, but it really just comes down to champion knowledge and knowing their limits. And I think Yasuo looked more confident than maybe he should have been there.
Yeah, so missed opportunity there by Locker, but does end up drawing the pressure, so that's good to waste Diana, a little bit of Diana's time here. And really slow early game. We do have 3 kills, but generally speaking, this is not too quick. I wonder if they're going to be going for this Herald. It looks like Nautilus has moved up. So I think an early Herald here is what SVU is looking for. And I love that because that will push the tempo of this game. And while Diana's trading blue buff for it, they should be able to just go in and take hers. So it maybe a dive top on Garen with the Herald drop.
Yeah, it could be super worth it, especially as low health as he is right now. If they can finish it quickly, and that's a lot of gold over to SVU that you'd really like to see turn into a snowball, especially after a game of 8.5 minutes now.
And here they come, Josh. That's 2 big beefers heading up top lane. Garen's got no options, no flash. He's got no tricks. They should be able to just dive him, drop the Herald, and get a ton of gold. But look at Locker. He wasted his flash earlier. He should be dead here as well. So while the play is going on top lane, he is getting attacked mid lane. So this is going to be a trade I think SVU should win out. And if they can dive this cleanly, and how can you not with a volley bear on your team? So that should be that. And can they drop the Herald? Yes, they will. So this is going to be a ton of plays here for SVU. A pretty even play, but I think SVU's favorite.
Yeah, I think I agree, especially if they can get this first tower gold. But we'll see. I don't think we see any Pioneers moving up to deal with them right now. So it looks like first tower gold is going to go over to SVU. A little bit of action bot lane.
Yeah, good ulti there by Cool Man Ray. You like to see it. Good weight on the Q there from Alistar, but it looks like Cool Man Ray should be able to walk out. No summoners used. Misfortune's going to flash for this. I don't think that was a good idea. That's a wasted summoner there. Unable to finish off the kill. So great job by Cool Man Ray surviving.
Yeah, and like you said, the trigger finger on that ult really came in.
That was huge
there.
Going for the top turret. They're not going to be able to get it. They dropped the Herald a little too soon, so those plates, they do add up with adding bonus resistances. Singe going to keep trying to poke for it, maybe. But at the end of the day, Singe doesn't really care if this tower goes down. But the bonus gold would be nice.
Yeah.
So let's see how we're shaping up. Volibear now discovering that his blue buff is gone. He probably is regretting not taking Diana's North Jungle. But here comes the Ignite out of the Garen. He's going to go for the all-in on Singe. Singe is going to have to flash, and he's going to go down. No, he's not. He lives.
Wow.
The calculation out of Scorpy. What a great play by him to just survive. Does have to use the flash, but gets Garen's flash and Ignite.
Yeah, and he hadn't spent that gold yet, right? So Garen, he died, but he was able to get that gold reset. And that was just knowing exactly how long Singe could survive there and make it out. Garen looks like we can get a return plate here.
Yeah, Volibear is moving up. He hasn't grabbed his red yet, though. So he does have to do some farming, but he's going to try to make a play here on the Garen. Garen has no tools, so this straight up 1v1, just smacking each other. It's going to be a long fight. If anyone wants to show up, they have a year to do so. Volibear going to take this fight. The Conqueror is stacked on the Garen, but Volibear likes his odds. Here comes the shield and the lightning, and he's going to put him away. And here comes another fight down at the Dragon. Huge fight here. Man Ray going to flash out, but going to go down to the Diana. Here comes Locker. Does he have enough on the Malzahar? No, he's going to get ulted up, and that's 3 kills. Going to go over to the side of the Pioneers, and you don't want to see them going for that when their jungler is topside. Just a bad decision there.
Yeah, as Volibear, you gotta weigh your options and realize, maybe Dragon's more important than Garen here, and if not, and you decide to go top, I think SVU's, like you said, they just got to kind of back out of that fight, right? It's uneven numbers, and Dragon's already been started at this point, almost done.
Exactly, and second Dragon, who cares? Give it up. It's not anything you need to worry about. Keep farming, keep getting your item spikes, but giving that gold over just kind of evens out with the advantage they would have been getting in top lane. So definitely just greedy of them to try to push for that. Misfortune going to use the ultimate just to clear the wave to get a good reset here. But Cool Man Ray here to collect the wave. SVU kind of resetting, trying to figure out where they go next. Singe looking for play here. He is unleashed on the map now that that tower's gone. So we'll see if he's able to make any plays. But without his flash, all he can do is really run around.
Yeah, Singe's playmaking abilities, similarly to some other champions, do rely on that. But he's able to clear some wards, which can be big, especially in mid lane, which might be the next tower that we'll be looking to pop from SVU's side. Looks like we got a little bit of action top side. little skerfuffle in the jungle.
Yeah, Singe doing his thing, being a face ward that can move, going around, looking for enemies. Alistair going to engage on his own. Should just be a simple back off there by the bot lane SVU. But we'll see what Volibear wants to do. He's really free on this map to do whatever he wants. We'll see what decisions he makes. Because, you know, they could do a lot of different things. Garen coming mid, trying to get anything done. But he's similar to Singed, where he just has very little playmaking ability on his own.
Right. Good. Can be great in long fights and do a lot in those team fights, but a single roam, especially against, you know, Malzahar, who's basically at tower. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and so we're seeing these items coming in for the Pioneers. We got the Eclipse there, Rocket Belt. So SVU just waiting on a few more gold to get theirs, and you really don't want to see them fight until they get their first item and line those up. So if they can wait off on that, they should be in good shape for the next team fight. Volibear sitting on his chem tank. He's going to be a tanky boy. So this is going to be, you know, it's going to be interesting with the Diana having 2 kills and the Misfortune having 2 kills. But the gold overall is only 1k ahead. So SVU should be able to challenge them if they can read that.
Diana looking
oh, here comes the ulti from Nautilus and the hook. Misfortune has no flash, should be going down here. Man Ray gonna have to ult out, but should be able to get this kill. And yeah, it goes over the Nautilus though. You don't want to see that. That's probably the worst thing that could have happened with getting that kill that was guaranteed, especially if they die here. So he's gonna have to back out. Can Man Ray get away? No, he's going to go down, and this is where the South controlled their jungle. They've lost, but here comes P. Diddy, and he is strong. Here comes the whole squad of SVU. Can they get these kills? That's a dunk out of P. Diddy with the suppression coming out as well. Shut down Diana, also going over to Nautilus. That's going to be a tanky Nautilus. Another kill possibly going onto the Yasuo. Can the Volibear smack him one more time? Should be able to clean this up, and yes. So SVU does shoot back there after that gank in bot side.
Yeah, and you know, all those, you know, these shutdowns going back and forth, 15 minutes almost, and there's, you know, very little difference in the amount of team gold. SVU with a slight lead after that awesome fight, and going to get some tower gold as well. So you love to see that from SVU, but the crossplay from Garen, going to take a tower back. So I think a good call on Garen's part after you see his team kind of gets dismembered there by Volibear's dunk.
Yeah, fantastic job by them. Being able to respond to that. I was really worried when we saw the Pioneers come down, the SVU was just not going to show up, but then, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 members show up and really clean up that fight. So while Garen had time in the top lane by himself, SVU is down here making a good play. So, like you said, SVU has now taken the lead in the gold, up 1,000 from being down 1,000. So that's quite a swing for them. Volibear definitely strong. Nautilus getting a couple kills, which you don't love to see, but at least they went on someone. So here comes second Herald. Looks like the Pioneers are going to go try to start this, but Nautilus is up here. Misfortune is nowhere to be seen, but Volibear at his Gromp, so he's not going to be here, and it looks like this will go over them.
Yeah, and you know, Dragon's coming up here too, if it comes up in time. You know, we'll see if SVU may try to take that instead. It looks like they might be setting up in River, at least Vision. But we'll see what they do with the second Rift Herald. Usually considered a little less valuable, I think, right, than the first one. So,
yeah, there's no plates, but
it could open up the map a little, you know, on into SVU's territory.
Yeah, SVU feeling the pressure of having to get a dragon here. You know, having 2 dragons. The third one, while it's not inherently valuable, it does in the long run. It does, you know, put you on that soul point. So they do want to fight for this, setting up their vision early. But this is a big push coming out of the Pioneers. It's a good play by them. They recognize that they don't care about this dragon, and SVU kind of has to. So now they're going to shove the top lane. They might get multiple towers here. SVU's going to have to respond, and here comes Singe, but I don't know if he can do it on his own.
Yeah, I think this is a huge play right here. I think Singe just going to die.
Yeah, he's going to flash in just to die. That's not good. Shutdown going over to the Yasuo. So that's a lot of gold, and they're still pushing. Someone's going to have to respond to deal with this. Looks like PDD's going to go back. It looks like the Herald did end up dying. So, fortunately for them, the Herald died. But, you know, that was a lot of gold. And now we see the gold swinging back in the favor of the Pioneers. But here comes the fight. PDD going in. There's the ult from the Malzahar. They should be able to burst down the Garen. Oh, they can't quite get him. He's at 1 HP. That's a flash. And the use of his Gale Force by Cool Man Ray. The kill does go over to Locker. So, lots of flashes used here by SVU. But they do get the kill, and they are now shoving mid lane.
Yeah, you know, you hate to see the Pioneers in that situation just get caught out completely avoidably.
Yeah, ult here coming out from the Alistair. I don't know if he's that tanky. Alistair is one of the tankiest people in this game, but he is not tanky enough to deal with 4 members underneath the turret. Is not going to be enough, so that turret will go down. So unnecessary death by him, but game's all tied up from what I can see. This is going to be an exciting one, Josh.
Yeah, it could go really long, I think. You know, when the gold's this even. The callback timers are going to be kind of important here. I think SVU's taking a reset. So Pioneers are going to get back on the board a little bit sooner. We'll see what they do with that. No waves necessarily pushing too much in anyone's favor right now, though. And other than mid, right? Pioneers trying to push mid out a little bit. Malzahar is going to hang back as he's been doing most of the game without his ultimate or flash trigger ready to go.
Yeah, we're seeing a big CS lead here for the Diana over the Volibear. While he's been involved in a lot of the plays, she has been farming and denying him camps. So we'll have to see if that ends up being a factor in the long run. She's up 2 levels on him, and that ultimate is level 2 now. So this Wombo here coming out of the Pioneers could be deadly if SVU's not accounting for it. So Cool Man Ray's got to be careful. Same with Locker. And Singed, he's not very tanky yet. Going Leandri's, he does usually build AP, but he's not a super tank, so he is going to have to be careful as well.
Yeah, not too much action happening right at the moment. We've seen some top lane taking their junglers, Raptors. I'm sure Diana doesn't need it, though. Plenty of CS, like you were saying. We've seen a hook from Nautilus. Going to get back up from his team.
Yeah, he's going to go in with the ulti onto the Misfortune. She's going to have to flash away, but that's a great trade there. So no summoners used on SVU's side, just the ult from Nautilus, and got the flash.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see. Take it away from the members of the team with the most damage. Unfortunately for SVU, they still have to watch out for that Diana with a lot of damage in the Yasuo. But MF flash is great because you can take her out of the equation. That'd be huge.
Yeah, so SVU electing to keep their bot lane down here. They're not moving to mid lane quite yet. Probably we'll see that relatively soon. Malzahar can just come down and eat up these waves and then roam around. Xayah is going to get increasingly scarier for her to be in the side lane. The ultimate can only do so much, and with no flash, you really have no options if you get caught out even a little bit. So we'll see. Possibly the Singe coming down as well. He could probably deal with that lane the best. But SVU just kind of chilling out right now. Both sides not really wanting to do too much. Everybody's got their ultimates, and most people have their flashes. So I'm expecting a fight here, Josh. Just what over is the question.
Yeah, I mean, you see Volibear getting his second blue buff of the game after a few have spawned. Diana electing not to invade as much lately. Not putting quite that pressure on that she was earlier, or responding with it. Because there's not been a whole lot of action. We're seeing Singe push in a little bit. Baron is coming up. Still a couple minutes away from Dragon. So, you know, with the grouping, looks like shifting up towards Baron, at least on Pioneer's side. They could be looking to force a fight. Bottom would have to start rotating. Otherwise, you're just going to have to give Baron or prepare to come in late, try and clean him up. We'll see.
Yeah, here comes some cheese possibly. They're starting the Baron, so P. Diddy is here though. But is he going to check it? He's standing on the other side of the wall. I don't see him. Does he know this is happening, or is he just waffling around? SVU's not responding here. Looks like they're going to come in late. So PD's going to have to go in if he can, but it's going down quick, and that's going to be Baron going over to the side of Pioneers. SVU just not paying attention. Not sure what they're doing there. And this is the problem when you have your AD carry in bot lane. He can't get up here. You got to put somebody with teleport down there so they can respond to plays like that. And that's a really early Baron going over to the side of Pioneers, and they're going to really be able to balloon this lead.
Yeah, especially with a team comp like SVU has, so much of your AD is sitting in Xayah, and you want her to be there rather than just pushing a single wave down to bot lane, trade for Baron. It doesn't seem like a good deal to me.
So let's see what they're able to do with this Baron here. There's some cheese coming out with Singed and Volibear. Moving into position. Here comes Diana, though. If they can get a pick on her, that would be huge. Cool Man Ray's there. There's the flash. He's going to flick him back, and that should be an easy kill, and this will easily go into the Dragon. Do they want more, or do they want to go for the Dragon? Locker having to deal with Garen. Should be able to wave clear. It is difficult against the Baron minions. He's going to try to get all in, but there's the ulti out of him. Does Garen have enough to finish him off? No, he does not, and that's going to be a solo kill for Locker. Great job by him defending topside, and there's the Dragon. So they haven't fallen off too hard here, SVU. They did give up the Baron, but they seem to be defending it well.
Yeah, they gave up Baron. Gold's still even, though, right? And they're skirmishing really well, so they've taken 2 players' Baron buffs off the board. And were able to get away with the Dragon, right? So they're still not even at Soul Point, or at Elder Point. Yeah, Soul Point, sorry. And they've evened up the Dragon game. So stacking those Earth Dragons can be nice, too, especially with this
Volibear Don't know if Misfortune's going to be able to get out of this, Josh. Volibear is a big boy. Misfortune, no answers, uses the heal, but gets eaten. So finally, Singe is in the bot lane. This is what we really want to see here. No more Cool Man Ray down here. He needs to be going mid. Locker can clean up top when it pushes. And once they get these lanes figured out, I think they're going to really enjoy the game a lot more. So Volibear, no one's farming mid right now, which is not good. You don't want to see Nautilus on his own. Volibear is super fed though, Josh, and I don't know how they're going to deal with him. Misfortune, building lethality. I mean, who's going to kill this Volibear? Is it going to be Garen?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be these long fights happening that we've been seeing, I think, if anything, going to take him down. Not a whole lot of damage is going to do a whole lot, especially once his ult comes back up, and it is a long timer, but, you know, a big Volibear that gets bigger is going to be tough to answer.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how they end up dealing with that. But moving into the mid game here, we're going to have to see what items come out because I'm really interested in if there's going to be any, you know, like anti-tank items. Because we do have a lot of tanks here on the side of SVU. We do see Diana working towards hers, but the Misfortune, the Yasuo, they're both going to need some kind of anti-tank. Otherwise, they're just going to be trying to kill Malzahar and Zaya, which they might not be able to get to. So
yeah. Yeah, you know, we're seeing a lot of respect out of each team, I think, from each other, playing their own kind of side of maps, really defending their territory before venturing into the opponents too much, aside for a little split pushing now and then. You know, what do you think about that, Kevin?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if, you know, if they're going to put Locker pushing top, or is he just going to collect the wave, right? He's the only person in the game with TP. So if SVU can do something with that, then that's an advantage. If not, he's just, you know, going to just farm it up and walk down, then, you know, I mean, you're kind of wasting that summer.
What's the point of
you know? So let's see what happens here. We have a spawn, 2 minutes on the Dragon and on the Baron, and neither side needs to panic about either. Here comes a big fight, though. Seething, trying to bait it, doesn't quite get it. Will he hit a hook? SVU could start a fight at any moment with the Flash Malzahar ult when that's available and the Nautilus. So I'm curious to see who's going to start the fight, because I think either comp, the one who starts the fight, probably wins the fight if it's a good enough initiation.
Right. The big wombo coming out of the Pioneers, or all the options that, like you're saying, SVU has to try and get the right fight that they're looking for. But still kind of just farming, not trying to get in each other's face too much, kind of scared to risk the biscuit, if you will.
Yeah, and this game is kind of, you know, on a knife's edge here. Both teams tied in gold, 2 dragons. The next fight could be humongous. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for it, because neither team has shown me that they're able to set it up cleanly. So there's a chance that, you know, at a flip of a coin, any team could win a fight. So let's see. Looks like Seething is getting great vision control here in the South River for SVU. But there's Cool Man Ray down in bot lane again, and it's really going to be hard for him to get in a good position in a fight if he's down there. Because if he shows up late, he's going to be out of position. And you showing up late as an AD carry is not ideal either. So looks like he is trying to back off here.
You know, that's what we saw cost the last Baron, right? It was that exact situation happening.
There's a defensive flash from Alistar. We've seen that multiple times now. Not what you want to see if you're a Pioneer fan, but great job by SVU forcing that out. Good job by Seething, getting in there, threatening the hook, and you see how he didn't even throw it? He's just threatening it, and they know the threat. Here comes a huge fight, though, Josh. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in this one. Volibear has the potion to make him stronger. He's coming down. He knows this is a huge fight. You love to see. And here comes the initiate from Seething. He goes in. Malzahar with the ulti on top. A lot of wombo coming out, and that favors the Pioneers, but I think SVU's too strong. They're going in, but there goes Locker. He gets dunked on by Garen. Cool Man Ray's in the middle of the fight. That's the last place you want to be. But guess what? Volibear's still eating people. He is humongous. Singe is running away. You don't want to chase Singe. Haven't they heard the tales? And that's going to be an ace for SVU. And that's a humongous fight and put him in the lead.
Huge fight. Awesome. You love to see that SVU. Great job initiating. Great Volibear stuff, too, there. See him chasing everybody down, chomping them up. They're going to grab Dragon.
Is this a Baron?
They might be looking for Baron here, too. And, you know, see if they can take an inhib off of it. Cooldown timer is at, you know, 30 minutes almost in the game. It's going to be pretty long. So it shouldn't be able to contest it if SVU can hurry up and has the damage to do so really quick.
Yeah, this is huge if they can get this. They might be able to push for an end with this Baron. That was a fantastic fight here. P. Diddy really stepping up there as the jungler, as the volley bear. You know, he was highlighted today for the match day, and he's showing why he is a veteran on this squad. Great job there. And I was worried when I saw Locker going down to the Garen. And Cool Man Ray kind of lost in space there in the middle of the fight, but the tanks here from SVU showing up, great engage from Seething, and they don't have many tools left. All the flashes were used. You love to see that as well. Can they get a fight without their flashes, Josh? Because with this Baron, they just need one more fight and they end the game.
Yeah, I mean, they do have more tools than their opponents to look for the fight, right? With the Nautilus Hook and the Malzahar. Even though Malzahar doesn't have his flash up, you know, they could play around vision. There's some things they could do to be creative that I'd really like to see. But straight up pressure down mid here, going to take a tower, maybe more. We'll see what happens. Looks like Pioneers are coming to mid, trying to have to respond. SVU forcing that response out with the Baron buff.
Yeah, and that's not good. Diana wants this so bad. Doesn't expend the flash, though. Feel like she might have wanted to, but that's why the Xayah pick was so good by Cool Man Ray. Because he can just ult if she commits her flash and E to get in there and get out safely. So, great disengage there by SVU. They know the only option here for the Pioneers is to go in. So all they have to do is keep dancing, keep letting these Bear minions do their job, chip away at these towers. If they see the fight, take it. Volley Bear can disable that tower. So, let's see if anything happens here. The Pioneers looking so bad for this fight. They have to engage at some point. That's their only play onto this. There goes the ulti, but it's just on the big beefy Nautilus. This is looking great for SVU. There's the dunk at a P. Diddy. They're going hard. SVU will not be stopped. 1, 2, 3. They will take everything here from the Pioneers. Even Singe is going to show up. He wants to be in the highlight reel, and this might be game here for SVU.
Awesome fight, huge fight. And you know what was really awesome, I think, from SVU there was taking Singe down bottom and forcing the MF to come down and respond. And there's not a whole lot that Pioneers could do with her down there that could keep the 4 main squad down middle from actually just, you know, coming and sitting on their tower, right? And so at the point when, you know, the Baron buffed minions are finally cleared, the Pioneers feel forced. They have to respond. They have to get an engage before another squad of minions shows up. Otherwise, they're just going to lose against that Baron buff.
Yeah, and that is game 1 going over to SVU. Fantastic job by them. This is the best of 3, though, so Pioneers have a chance to regroup, come back here in game 2, and try to tie it up. So sit tuned, sit tight, folks, because this is going to be an exciting series. That was a great game 1. I'm super hyped up for game 2, and I can't wait to see what SVU brings.